I've been having some temperature issues for my water heater, and so today I'm going to teach you how to replace the thermostat in your water heater. It's very, very simple, especially on the electric ones. Make sure you turn the electric off, make sure there's no power to the water heater, and make sure the water heater is completely drained, especially if you're going to do the lower element and replace that as well, which I might do, I might not. So I'm just going to change the thermostat. I've already changed the thermostat in the top. Now I'm going to change the lower thermostat, and I'll show you how to do the lower one, and it's the same process as doing the upper one. So we'll get right into it. The first thing that I do after I take off the panel, so there's a panel that looks something like this. This panel connects to this area right here. Once you take that off, you'll be able to see the wiring and the thermostat and the element. Once you take that off, you're gonna look at something like this. This is the upper element, or this is the upper thermostat and the element. This is what the element looks like. The electric goes into this section here, runs into something that looks like this, which is the element. That's what heats the water. The current runs through this metal and heats the water. This is the thermostat. And you can tell it's a thermostat because it has a thermostat right there. The previous one that I had before didn't have the temperature on there. It doesn't need to have the temperature, but if you wanted to have the temperature, you can buy one that does. But you can just adjust it with a flathead screwdriver and turn it left or right. This is the little protection safety cover that goes on top of it. And all of these are pretty much universal, and they'll just snap right in. Going back to the lower element and to the lower thermostat, it looks practically identical except for the amount of screws that you need to remove. So on this one, I only need to remove 2 screws. On the top one, I already covered it up, but it has 5, I believe. So the main thing that I want you to know is that if you don't have a lot of experience doing this, make very, very sure that the electric is off on the unit, and you take a picture of the element and the thermostat before you start removing all of the wiring. That way you don't need to remember exactly where all those wires were. You can just plug and play, look at the picture that you've taken before you removed everything, and put it back the way it was. First thing first, where we will unscrew these screws, and I've already done this one, and we'll take this off. One here and one here. And that's it. For this one, it's very, very simple. Now, if you want to make it even easier on yourself, this red wire right here is actually in the way of removing the thermostat. So I'll go ahead and just remove that as well, just for ease of work. Now these thermostats, they are hooked into, they have these hooks here, clips almost. See that? So in order to get these off, the only thing you need to do is just grab onto the top and pull it down, and it'll pop off. It's just a pressure clip. And when you put the new one back on, you will line it up. Make sure that it's in the same position as the other one. You're gonna line it up here. And you can see that the clip's there. If you need to, you can pull the clip back, or you can just push down. The clip will slide out just a little bit, enough to get the thermostat in there, and it'll clip right in. Now from here, I've had the new thermostat in. It's set to whatever degree I want. It doesn't really matter right now. But what I'll do now is loosen up the screws. may be tight. And I'll just reference the photo that I took earlier and make sure that these screws are back into the same position. Okay, and there we have it. So the black wires, and mine, the black wires go here. I reattached the red wire because I had to take it off to make it, the thermostat come out a little bit easier. Now you just tuck that insulation or whatever you had back in there. Mine looked like that, something like this. And cover it back up. Make sure you get your plate, safety plate. We can just tuck that in there. And that's gonna go like this. And you can tell there's a clip here and it clips right in there. But you need to hook it on the bottom portion here first. See that? So that it makes a nice connection at the top. Fold that down. And we'll go ahead and put this plate back on. Just kidding again. It needs this insulation. I mean, does it need it? No, but definitely is a good, might as well, you know, put it in there. Let's see, I bet it went like, something like this. There we go, it's back on. We'll do the same thing for this one, and this job is done. We'll put that insulation back on. This one's nice because the wires kind of fold and hold it together. Yours probably won't do that, maybe it will, but that's pretty easy. We'll put this cover back on, and there you have it. The job is unofficially complete. Now that this is done, I've already drained the water. So this is in on-off. So as long as it lines up like this, the water comes out. And if you turn it like this, it closes it. So it's a valve, it's not a screw. Like you don't tighten it to close it, loosen it to open it. So that's open. Or this is closed, that's open. Closed, open. Got it? Closed. So now it's closed. I can fill this water heater back up. So what I do is I flip this up so it relieves the pressure and it can fill up a bit easier, just for a little while. I'll flip this back on. And if I closed it properly, this will not leak. It might drip a little bit at the beginning, but it shouldn't leak at all. Now we'll come over to the main. Go ahead and give that a turn back on. And what I'm not gonna do is turn the breaker on. I don't wanna turn the breaker on until that entire water heater is filled with water. You can tell here, if you ever have any questions about your water heater, you can look at this information here. This is a Bradford White Corporation. It has the model number, the serial number, the cap amount. So this is a 50-gallon water heater or 189 liters. Gives you the watts, the upper element, lower element, and the pressure test PSI, working PSI. So if you ever need to go to Home Depot or go to the store, take a picture of this information. And that's how you know that your water heater's full. Okay, I'll flip the breaker. The last thing I'll mention is this thermometer right here. This thermometer will gauge whether or not the temperature is rising. This is also part of my tank booster system, so I can heat the temperature up to a higher degree, and this will feed a little bit of cold water into the pipe to go up to reduce the temperature from, say, 140 to 120. That way the tank lasts longer and we're using less hot water to go up into the pipes. So instead of getting like 30 minutes of hot water, I'm getting 45, 55 minutes of hot water. So I had to replace that too because we were having a separate issue that I won't even discuss right now. But so we'll watch this gauge, make sure that it continues to go up in temperature over the next hour or so, and we can come back and check it and see how it goes. One more thing I want to mention, when you put the cover back on the water heater, be very careful because the edges can be sharp and you don't want to cut yourself like I did. So if you don't want to cut yourself, you can wear some gloves or you can just be careful. All right, it's been about 20 minutes and the temperature is almost, well, it's a little over 90 degrees. So that's fantastic. That's what we want to see. In about an hour or two, I'm going to come back down and see what the temperature is. If it's getting above 130, 140 degrees, then we still have an issue because I set the thermostat for about 130, 140 degrees. So we'll check it back in an hour and then we'll see what happens.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are back. It has been 3 hours and we're right at 120 degrees, right where we want to be. So looks like the thermostat worked. We are all set to go. I'll mark it down in my maintenance log and we are done.